In this video, we're going to learn more about decimals, beginning with how to compare decimals. So we've got some examples over here on the left. The first one, we're comparing 1.23 to 1.230. What we need to do when comparing decimals is we need to start with the largest place value, which in this case is the ones, and we check to see which one is greater. Since they're equal, we then go to the next place value, which is tenths. They're still equal. So we go to the next place value, which is the hundredths, still equal. And now in the last column, in the thousandths, we have a 0 and we have a blank. So in this case, these are actually equivalent to each other, so these two are equal. In the next example, we first compare the ones, they're the same. The tenths are the same, but when we get to the hundredths, we can see there's an 8 and a 0, therefore 1.88 is greater than 1.809. In the next example, the ones place is the same, but in the tenths we have a 5 which is greater than the 0, so we already know that 1.55 is greater than 1.056. In the last example, the ones are the same, and already in the tenths place the 8 is greater than 0, so therefore 1.889 is greater than 1.090. Now your turn. In this case, the ones place is the same, the tenths place is the same, but when we get to the hundredths, the 3 is greater than the 1, so therefore it should be a less than symbol. Now let's talk about omitting zeros. If we have a 0 at the end of a number, such as this one here, that means we can omit it. So I could omit this 0 and I could omit this 0 because they're at the end of the decimal. However, this 0 here I cannot get rid of because there is a 3 to the right of it. And the zeros on this side of the decimal you will never ever get rid of. So those zeros all must stay. You can never get rid of any of the zeros to the left of the decimal point. So let's try this 0. This one is between the 2 and the 6, so it stays. And then at the end, we can get rid of all 3 of these zeros at the end because all 3 of them are at the end of the number. But again, we do not get rid of this 0 here because it's to the left of the decimal point. Now your turn. There is 1 0 at the end, so we can go ahead and get rid of that, leaving us with just 270.4. Now let's talk about money. I have $1,360 in bills, which could be written the way I had it, or I could put the 0.00 at the end, and I have $38.60 in change. If I were to add that up together, I would have a total of $1,398.60. And when I write it on the decimal place value chart, one thing to notice is that with money, I will never use anything past the hundredths place. So I might use the tenths and the hundredths if I've got change, or if I've only got bills, then I will just stay to the left of the decimal point. Now your turn. In this picture, we have a total of $18.80. Now let's convert some heights from centimeters to meters. And since 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, that means that if I want to convert 175 centimeters into meters, I need to take the current decimal point, which is right here, and I need to move it to the left 2 spaces because I'm essentially dividing by 100. So 175 centimeters becomes 1.75 meters. And similarly, if the woman is 160 centimeters, that means she is 1.60 meters. But since this is a trailing 0, we can omit that 0 and say that she is 1.6 meters. And if the girl is 130 centimeters, that means she's 1.30 meters, which we can then shorten to 1.3 meters. Now your turn. Since the girl is 122 centimeters tall, we would take the current decimal and move it 2 spaces to the left, which means she is 1.22 meters tall. Finally, let's convert some distances, keeping in mind that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. Since the hike is 4.3 kilometers, that means it's equal to 4,300 meters. So there's a couple ways we can think about that. We could multiply the 4.3 times 1,000, and that would give us the 4,300. Or, since we're multiplying times a multiple of 10, we can simply move the decimal point 3 spaces to the right. We can go 1, 2, 3, which gives us 4,300. Now your turn. To convert from 5.47 kilometers into meters, I need to move the decimal point 3 spaces to the right because there are 3 zeros in 1,000, and I can't just leave this blank right here, so I need to add a 0 when I do that. So my final answer is going to be 5,470 meters. That's it for this one. Bye-bye.